Long.
I've been a member in this place for around 18 months now. I'm a first-term MP, and I came into this place with my eyes wide open. But one of the craziest things I've witnessed here in my 18 months, on a near daily occurrence, is the collective amnesia of the Liberal and National parties of Australia. Near daily. Every day they raise a matter of public importance with zero self-reflection about their own record. They raise topics about inflation and interest rates and never acknowledge their record in 10 years of government, nor that the highest quarter of CPI in a generation was under their watch. They raise topics about energy prices, but they conveniently forget to mention that they voted against energy price relief in December last year. And now today, the absolute gall of those opposites to say that this is a government that isn't keeping Australians safe, when their record on immigration and cyber security is as it was, is just astounding, Deputy Speaker. What those opposite will never acknowledge is that Australians elected the Albanese government to fix up the mess left by them, be it on inflation or cost of living or keeping Australians safe. Those opposites failed. On cyber security, they failed to keep Australians safe. On immigration, they failed to keep Australians safe. And on key national security laws, they failed to keep Australians safe. And I remind those opposite that laws drafted and implemented by a former coalition government were the laws that were just ruled unconstitutional by the High Court. Unconstitutional laws do not keep Australians safe. And while the Leader of the Opposition stands up and plays that tough guy on borders role that we know he loves to play, he's a man that was directly responsible for the mismanagement of dozens and dozens of cases and multiple pieces of legislation. And we just need to look at the Nixon review to see it in black and white how the Leader of the Opposition and the former government failed to keep Australians safe. The revelations uncovered by the Nixon review into migration are confronting as they are infuriating. Our migration system should never operate like it did under the Liberals and Nationals, ever again. Our migration system should operate for the benefit of all Australians. Instead, under those opposite, it operated for the benefit of criminals. The rapid review into exploitation of Australia's visa system paints a stark picture of a broken immigration system, a system that was left to rot by the Leader of the Opposition in his role as former Minister for Home Affairs. The review revealed a deeply flawed system that allowed criminal gangs from around the world to exploit vulnerabilities in the system for their benefit, tragically at the expense of genuine migrants who would have otherwise reunited with their families or filled much-needed skill shortages. Deputy Speaker, those opposite are responsible for a broken immigration system where abuse of our visa system ran rampant. Those opposite presided over a migration system that was used to facilitate some of the worst crimes in our society. And they come in here today and say that this government isn't keeping Australians safe, when those opposite slashed immigration compliance officers by 50%. Contrast their terrible record to what this government is doing to fix their mess. Unlike those opposite, we listen to experts and we listen to our national security agencies. Unlike those opposite, we do the work to keep Australians safe and we do it properly. Unlike those opposite, we will build a better migration system that serves our national interests, that doesn't serve the interests of criminals. We're investing $50 million into migration compliance. We're establishing an immigration compliance division. We've already cancelled 45 visas linked to criminal syndicates. Under the Liberals, criminals flourished. Under Labor, we're closing down the syndicates. And that's even without going into the details on cyber security and the reforms the minister's doing. Australians don't get it wrong, Deputy Speaker. They elected us to clean up their mess.